There's no denying that Minecraft speedrunning is one of the most heavily contested competitions ever, being the most downloaded game in history. Of course, there is going to be a massive community of people who have tried this challenge out for themselves. And of course, with a lot of competition comes a lot of competition. Cube 1337X. Holding the 1.16 RSG world record of 9 minutes and 8 seconds, as well as recently getting another sub 10, he's one of the runners who is considered the best. Technically being the best by being on top of the leaderboards, but in terms of overall skill, Cube is a beast, but not quite the best. Another fantastic runner is No Fear 1337. Cube 1337, No Fear 1337, skill just runs in the family. No Fear being one of, if not the most consistent runner in the entire category, getting multiple insane runs every week and in some cases every day. No Fear is undoubtedly one of the best and in my eyes securing himself as an easy second best speedrunner. Who is the first, you ask? I don't even think I need to answer that question. Crookst. Being one of the most talked about runners on my channel, I've actually never made a video just about him alone, and I think it's about time. Having 4 sub 10s, 3 sub 5 blinds, and one of the craziest lists of runs out of any MCSR runner ever. He's far ahead of anything the likes of No Fear or Cube, and what he did on the 21st of July secures that statement. This is the story of the craziest run in all of Minecraft speedrunning history, and how with a devastating turn of events, quickly became the saddest run ever. In Minecraft speedrunning, there are possible hundreds of categories, goals and milestones within runs that runners strive for. In RSG, the key moments in any run would be entering the nether, exiting the nether, entering the end, and of course completing the run itself. Exiting the nether, in most cases referred to as blind travelling, the runner makes their way through the run, and typically in the bastion hope for 10 or more obsidian, so they can exit the nether through a new portal rather than going back to their entry portal, saving time and typically being closer to the stronghold. This milestone is probably the most contested out of these subcategories, with a few runners doing so in under 5 minutes, with the world record prior to the run I'll be breaking down today being 4 minutes and 49 seconds, by none other than Crookst. In fact, this milestone is so contested that people have even tried to fake the record for attention and clout, in most cases quickly being debunked. Entering the end is also quite prevalent, with, again, the world record before the run I'll be breaking down being a 7:24 by Crookst. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Both of these milestones were broken in one run by the former world record holder of them too. But before I continue on with explaining that, we should talk about the run itself. So let's do just that. Crookst's video starts with a wall of 6 instances, and the instance we want to be focusing on is this one. While it's not the first instance he loads into, it's the one he'll inevitably be playing. Upon loading in, he spawns on a small island by the ocean, and spots a shipwreck just off the shoreline. He loots it for food and iron, crafts his essentials, and by a minute, he was in search for an enter. About 15 seconds later, he found one, building a portal using the lava buried beneath the magma, and enters the nether at 1 minute and 44 seconds. By no means is this even close to the world record nether enter, but it's solid enough for any skilled player to continue on with, while Cube, in his own world record, entered the nether a few seconds faster. It's not a large enough time difference that it will mean the difference between world record or second place. As he enters the nether, he opens his F3 screen and uses the entity counter to scan for a bastion, and as he gets the spike, he starts following that direction and soon after spots a housing type bastion, arguably the best bastion for speedrunning. He makes his way over to the Bastion, and once he arrives, he performs the manhunt route, making his way over to the gathering of gold blocks and luring the piglins over along the way, providing them with the gold he collected from the depths of the Bastion. He checked his trades and saw nothing too out of the ordinary, enough pearls and fire resistance, enough string for 3 beds, but he can also find a library in the stronghold or go for a 3-bed axe on the dragon. But he was also very short on obsidian, but from a nearby double chest, he pulled 15 obsidian, not only enough for a blind travel, but also calculated travel. With how fast of a pace he's already on, he just set himself on an undiscovered pace until now. With all his trades in his inventory, he was out of the Bastion at 3 minutes and 35 seconds. He crafted some golden carrots to up his food source, and with a few quick pearl throws, he was in the fortress sub 4 minutes. With a quick run over to the blaze spawner, or spawners in his case, he began killing blazes. With having 2 spawners in extremely close proximity, he was running between spawners, having to wait minimal amounts of time for spawns, accumulating 6 rods from just 8 blazes, and at just 4 minutes and 30 seconds, he was building his portal, setting a new blind travel world record of 4 minutes and 41 seconds. Just take a few moments to comprehend that. 4 minutes and 41 seconds. In Cube's world record of 9 minutes and 8 seconds, he blind travelled at 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Over 2 whole entire minutes slower than Crookst, and Cube still managed to beat the 9-month standing former world record by Brentilda of 9 minutes and 36 seconds. It's almost unfathomable how far ahead of the world record Crookst actually is, and it's not the first time he's been in this position. In his former blind world record of 4:49, he unfortunately didn't get the world record, but almost got his 4th sub 10 at the time, falling just short and dying in the end fountain. But that run, he didn't have the 20 obby he does in this current run, which is why Crookst is on unfathomable pace. Crookst throws his Eye of Ender, aligns it precisely to the pixel on his screen, and copied it into the Ninja Brain bot, and just like that, he had worked out the location of the stronghold, just a little under 900 blocks away, in the Nether, just over 100 blocks. With Crookst entering back into the Nether and knowing exactly where he needed to go at 5 minutes, he's on an unbelievably fast pace, far ahead of any pace we've seen in the past. With a matter of 2 pearl throws, Crookst arrived at his location to build his portal into the stronghold, and to nobody's surprise, Crookst had entered into the stronghold at 5 minutes and 27 seconds. Crookst uses a strategy named Preemptive by a strategist named Adlama, which I'll quickly run down. While it's not a particularly new strategy, some viewers might not know or might be unsure of how it works. Quote, "With preemptive navigation, our aim is to detect the silverfish spawner using the game renderer's values, leading us to the portal room." Basically, explaining that in English, you need to use the pie chart on the F3 screen to find certain values that may vary from different hardware, but once located, it should in most cases lead you to the portal room of the stronghold. This is exactly what Crookst does, and while it takes him almost a minute to actually end up finding the portal room, Crookst locates it at 6 minutes and 20 seconds, filling in the Eyes of Ender into the frames, and at 6 minutes and 27 seconds, he was entering the end. Just a month prior, Crookst got on a run that was so good that it set the new end enter world record, just like the run we are looking at currently. Just in this run, Crookst entered the end at 7 minutes and 24 seconds, which was the world record. It only took a month for the community, mainly Crookst, to go from 7 minutes and 24 seconds to enter the end as the world record to 6 minutes and 27 seconds, 57 seconds was saved in the span of a month, and at that point, even with the slow stronghold nav, he's still over a minute ahead of Cube's pace, and all that Crookst and all of us can really hope for is for the dragon to play fair and give Crookst the chance of his life. He pearls to the main island, setting up his killing platform and goes off to craft his beds. Like I mentioned before, Crookst didn't have enough string for 4 beds, and didn't go to a library in the stronghold to get some extra. On top of that, he has only enough wool to craft 1 bed. Not to worry though. With a little bit of trickery, he was able to get a little extra wood from his boat crafted earlier, enough for 2 beds now. With a respawn anchor too, he technically did have enough to kill the dragon, he just needed enough in his favour and he would have the dragon dead in no time. And when I say no time, I genuinely mean not enough time to even prepare for the dragon's death. What went wrong? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory, but in short, Crookst didn't go to a library in the stronghold, which he did pass one pretty early on. Maybe he forgot he didn't have enough string, or wood for that matter, which he could have also collected from the library. In the end, he did have a risky but doable amount of explosives, but with a bit of time spent on the collection of wood from the boat and the instant perch, the run wasn't quite dead just yet, but with the dragon taking minutes after that to perch, Crookst ended up just giving up on the run. What went right? While it is sad what happened, there is no denying how lucky of a run Crookst had. But just how lucky exactly? Well, there's no specific number to give it exactly, just think about it. Crookst had all his necessary structures in an arm's reach, the insanity of 15 obsidian in the bastion chest, going 6 for 8 on blaze rod drops, and on top of all of that, the instant dragon perch. Who would have thought that a run of this caliber would have been lost to something as simple as forgetting a few pieces of wood and string? And I think that it should be noted that any run remotely close to this level will probably not happen for a good while, but you never know when it comes to Crookst. But either way, this is the first run we've ever seen in MCSR history that has been on easy sub 9 pace, sub 8 pace, and with a little bit more luck in his favour, even sub 7 pace. This run truly shows the limits that speedrunning the game can be pushed, and how close we are to seeing Cube be dethroned, and if it's not Crookst to do so, I don't know who else will, since there is nobody more deserving of a record at this moment than Crookst. I would be extremely surprised if you're not already subscribed to Crookst, but if you haven't, leave the video right now and do so. The community has never seen a runner close to the skill level Crookst has, and it's just a no-brainer to subscribe to someone of this skill. If you could also give me a shot and subscribe to my channel, it would be greatly appreciated. My videos are going to be rolling out as soon as possible, and I can't do it without your support. Thank you all so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I see all of you in the next video. Goodbye everyone.